Line up. And we are lights out here in Abu Dhabi as they fan out. Take a look back. Danny Rick going to lead them off into turn one. Oh, looks to have gotten contact from behind with Sauce Boss. Back in the pack. Seeing him scatter all over the place. Looks like there was an incident here with Snover and some of these other guys behind. Brembo, Circles, these guys have lost contact with the rest of the pack, but definitely some contact up front there. Looked like Danny Rick just didn't really get through that corner quite as well. Sauce Boss might have gotten to the back of him. So these guys go down single file. See a move back here. It's going to be Barbaro going to fall in behind Daddy. We're going to go ahead and hop back on board with these guys with the on-car cam. Shady under duress here from Adler. Put this position change on. There we are. From the start, so far the biggest mover. We've got Dub Z, and the biggest loser so far of positions is going to be Snover. Shady putting some pressure here on Barbaro. Coming through, Danny Rick's going to lead him through lap one. All right. Through. On pit road, we see Circle. That has got to be certainly for some car repairs, new tires. It's going to go ahead and replace that front wing there on the Red Bull. Get some new tires there. Going to switch to the hards. See how far he can go on these. Meanwhile, up front, Danny Rick pulling away. Got about a second lead here on Furby. Furby with a little bit of pressure from Sauce Boss behind. Shady going to make the move around Barbaro. Put him up to the 8th position. As he goes through that chicane, coming down the straightaway to the final chicane with his eyes set in front of him. Going to be looking to reel in Daddy. Oh, Daddy. Innick closing the gap here on Duck. Each of these guys, 2 through 5. Really close to one another. Sauce Boss, it looked like there for a second, had a good look on Furby. See the gaps open up just a little bit since then. He's got a second behind him with Duck, so he's got some room to really figure out what he wants to do with Furby if he's able to catch him. Furby appears to just start to gap it just a little bit. We're going to go back here to Dave. Dave -1 from the start. On the medium tires here behind Innick. Also on medium tires. Dave, nobody behind him, so he's got plenty of room to figure out what he wants to do with Innick. These guys have a decision to make. You know, is to go, whether or not to go hard on these tires, get as many positions as they can, or if they want to try to save these tires a little bit, maintain their positions, and try to gain these spots later on as these tires wear. Oh, and we do see a change of position as Sauce Boss under pressure from Duck. Duck not quite able to make it work. Still within striking distance though. Just trying to keep that pressure on him. take a look back here. A little bit of contact here between Snover and Brembo. Going onto pit road. Pit road. It's going to be Adler going down pit road. We're going to stay on with this action. It's beating and banging. Can't do that with an open wheels. Back up front. Duck losing some positions to both Dave and Innick. See, Innick's starting to close the gap. He's got the DRS. He's going to have a run on Sauce. Gives him a look just to let him know he's there. Not able to do anything with it, though. They come through the chicane. He wants to try to get through there, stay on him to keep the pressure there. Keep the pressure on Sauce. He's going to have DRS again. Going to have a nice run coming down to this final chicane. Yet again, just stays close. Oh, man. That was a... That was not going to be good if he decided to stick it in there. Man, great decision there by Innick to just back off and live to fight another day. Not a position where you want to be going in too wide. That was guaranteed to be a wreck if he did. They fall back single file. Up front, Danny Rick continues to pull away. Furby 2 seconds back and another 2 seconds back here to Sauce Boss. For him and everybody behind, just practically right on top of one another. Each one of these four guys. Another good gap, 2 seconds back here to Shady. Shady just minding his P's and Q's. You can see these guys, not able to do anything with it, but just keeping them within shouting distance. Daddy running in 8th. 9th, you have Bobro. Running up the top 10, you have Timmy. Timmy with a little bit of a gap, quite a bit of a gap actually, 5 seconds up there to 9th place. You see Innick making a move for the 3rd position on Sauce Boss. Makes it look easy. Use the DRS, goes through that double chicane. It's going to put him in that final podium position. And he's going to go ahead and he's going to set his eyes on Furby. Sauce Boss continuing, trying to keep that pressure back on Innick. See if you can't get that spot back. Meanwhile, Dave, right here, ready to pounce. Staying as smooth as ever. Oh, gonna look to the outside. Going down the front straightaway. Gonna try to pinch him off. Makes it work. What a move. Drop Sauce down to the 5th position, move Dave up to 4th. Sauce under attack again by Duck. We've seen this before. See if Duck's able to do anything with it this time around. Sauce taking a peek there again on the inside of Dave. Comes off the corner, loses a little bit of traction. Like I said, it's gonna be tough as these tires age to keep that traction coming off the corners. It's gonna be easy to slide those tires. Not get right on cue. So you see him get a little bit squirrely coming through the chicane. Loses a little bit of time. That's exactly what Duck likes to see. He wants to keep his car there, keep the pressure on. Yellow flag through sector 3. Looks like back in the pack again with Snover. Not having the start to this race that he wants. Alright, So through the opening stages of this race so far, like I said, this is a track that's it's very easy to get those time penalties. So far, only 4 guys on track with time penalties. The biggest one so far being the one to Sauce. If that's going to be for corner cutting, we see Tim A on pit lane. Not sure if this looks like it could be for a scheduled stop. Going to switch over from the softs over to the mediums. And he's going to go back out on track. Back up front, Dave looking to put some pressure on Enoch to get into that podium position. Through, clips some of that curbing, but is able to keep the car looking straight. That curbing's enough to send your car sideways as well. Very multiple positions where you can lose control of your car. Dave getting through that chicane a little bit better than Enoch there. See him close the gap. Another yellow flag through sector 3. Quite sure who that was. Back on with Dave. As he looks to move up into the top 3. The gap's actually closed here between Danny Rick and Furby, down to a second. So you see a bunch of cars peel off, go on to pit road. Duck being one of them. Dub Z. We see Snover on pit lane again. Sauce Boss going to come in, switch on over to the medium tires. Looks like he's going to be replacing his wing. I believe that's going to be damaged from the opening stage, from that opening turn actually, where he got into the back of Danny Rick. Going to go ahead and get that front wing repaired, get those new tires on. He's going to be on his way. So if Sauce was able to maintain position up there with a broken wing, I can only imagine what he's going to be able to do with a fully repaired wing. He does have that penalty though. Going to try to make up for it. But up front, still the same story. Furby is actually making a little bit of headway. He just seems like he's pretty smooth. Danny Rick up front, just sliding again. He's not liking these old tires. Really losing a lot of time to Furby. Furby's licking his lips. He's ready to go. Well noted. Furby looking to make it 3 in a row. He's got the leader in sight. Coming up pit road. You see some of the other top guys coming down pit road. Bobro and Daddy. Shady up to the 5th position. Don't believe he's been on pit road yet, but still just marching on with those mediums. A little bit of a gap there to 4th spot in Enoch. Go back up front. Furby's cut the lead to under a second to Danny Rick. Danny Rick just really struggling for grip. Enoch getting a 3-second time penalty. It's easy to do. I'm surprised more people don't have penalties quite yet. Quite impressed. Way to stay disciplined. The gap closes even more. Furby within half a second as they're going to close out lap 9, coming to lap 10. Through loses a little bit of time, kind of missed the corner there. They go down the front straightaway. Danny Rick gonna pull it out, gonna open it up to about a second lead as they come through this chicane. So now let's see, chicanes where Furby's really been gaining a little bit. Danny Rick's struggling to get up off those corners, get the power down. Gets through there well though. Actually opens up the gap just a little bit to Furby. Gonna give him some more room to breathe. DRS going down that long straightaway for Furby. Come through that chicane. Fairly smooth. Furby not quite close enough this time around to get the DRS. Come through the chicane. This is where we've seen Danny Rick really lose a lot of time. Whoa. Furby getting squirrely that time. It takes a lot of car control for these guys that hang onto these things on these old tires. Furby's going to continue to try to close that gap to Danny Rick. Hop back here with Enoch. This appears to be the closest battle, as actually Dave's starting to close in on these front two on the medium tires. Medium tires, you're not going to see quite as big of a fall off on these as you will with those softs. Front two guys both running on softs. I believe the race is really starting to come to him. See him closing in on these front two. Really able to get through that hairpin a lot better than Furby. He's going to have DRS coming down this straightaway. Let's see if he's going to make a move on him. Gets a run. Going to look to the inside. Going to look to outbrake him. And, oh, he's not even going to have to. He's got him clear going into the corner already. Move Dave into the second position. As Furby now comes under fire from Enoch. Enoch also on the medium tires. Oh, Furby looking to the outside of Dave. Going through. Oh, so tough. Oh, Dave goes around. Like I said, it's just so hard to keep those cars from off of one another when you're going through the chicane. He's going to get it back going, have to get those tires cleaned off. Losing a lot of valuable time. It's really hard to put anybody at fault there. It's just, you just can't go through there too wide. It's so difficult. Not enough room. Furby going to bring it down pit road. Going to go ahead and get some new tires. Locking it up, going on to the pit lane. Make sure that he gets down to pit road speed. See the softs coming off, mediums going on. This could be the only stop you see Furby make. Situation could have been a lot worse if you're Dave. Yeah, you lost a lot of spots. Good news is your car's still together. Still a lot of race left to go. As we're approaching halfway. Bobro making a move on Brembo. Moves him up to the 7th spot. Brembo back to 8th. Now Bobro's going to set his eyes on Duck. Oh, Brembo actually getting that run with the DRS. Getting past Bobro there. Oh, gonna lose traction coming off the chicane. These guys are side by side. Looks like both are gonna have DRS. Brembo's gonna pull him, and then they go into the chicane, single file. Oh, little slideways. They're gonna get through there. No harm, no foul. We're to stay here. This is where the action is. Your leader, Danny Rick, going to peel it off coming on a pit road. Going to take those soft tires off. I'm sure he's happy to come in here and get new tires. He was not happy with those old tires. Going to repair that front wing. Not sure where he got front wing damage. But he's going to go ahead and get that repaired. Come back on track. Let's see where that lands him. Enick's going to go ahead and take over the lead. Comfortable lead. Just under 3 seconds back to Shady. Shady having a quiet race up to this point. Just staying nice and smooth. Got a nice gap, almost 4 seconds back to Dave. Dave with that spin after contact with Furby earlier. Who's your leader, now looking at about a 7.5 second gap up front to Furby after he had to make repairs to the car. Got those new tires on there. So now these guys on the mediums, when do they come in and they get the soft tires? I assume that's what they're going to be switching to. It's like we're going to be looking. You see, these guys that were on the softs made their pit stops between laps 12 and 14. I imagine you'll see as Furby gets a time penalty, also sets the fastest lap. That time penalty is going to be crucial. 3 seconds, that's going to make the gap only 4 seconds back to Danny Rick, as long as Danny Rick's able to keep it clean. That's one thing about Danny Rick. It always seems like he's just driving hard, just at 110% at all times. Always just getting as much out of the car as he can. So now the top 10 all going to be pretty spaced out. Brembo here only a second back from Daddy. Appears to be the closest any of these guys are here in the top 10. As we've now reached the halfway point in this race. So far, a lot of action. See these tire strategies. Very interesting to see what these guys do. I think those guys on the mediums, like we were discussing before, I'd imagine it'd probably be closer to lap 20 when we see them to come in to get those softs for that final run. These guys that have switched over to the mediums, I think that's going to be it for them. I think they're going to be done pitting. What you see is what you get. Danny Rick setting the fastest lap at a 1:37.52. Just about 4 seconds off his pole setting lap time. Back up front, Enick with a 2.5 second lead over Shady. Shady's actually closing the gap just a little bit on Enick. Ever so slightly. If we remember back just a few laps ago, Shady was actually 4 seconds back. He's got it just over 2 seconds. Another penalty handed out. That one's going to go to Timmy. Let's go ahead and hop on board with Shady as he looks to close the gap on Enick. Enick's got that time penalty. It appears to be losing quite a bit of time on those other tires. Shady doing a fantastic job of just maintaining his tires. Really showing some speed at the end of this run. And right on cue, both of these top two guys gonna come off the track, come onto pit road, get these soft tires. Service getting done, soft tires on, and they are out. That's gonna go ahead and give the lead to Dave. Should see Dave on pit road here shortly as well. Brembo getting handed a 3-second penalty, as well as Team Green. And Furby currently 2 seconds back from Dave. Exactly sure what's up with the audio here with Furby, so we're gonna go ahead and get back on here with Dave as he sees that pink and white car just getting ever so close. Furby really closing in. Duck and Innick really going at it. We got all these cars nose to tail. Let's get on here with Shady as he makes a move here. These triple right-handers on Innick. Oh, and is able to make it work. He outbrakes him. Meanwhile, up front, Dave's going to come off. That's going to move Furby up to the top spot. Shady now making a move on Duck. Looking to the outside as we come up on these final double rights. Still looking, he's got his nose there, and this is going to put him in great position coming into turn one, as that one's going to be a left-hander. Going to look to outbrake him, gets alongside of him, not able to quite clear him. Oh, in a tough spot, and he's able to make it work as Duck's going to be handled a penalty. And he's now under fire. He's got 2 more cars right on top of him. He just can't catch a break at the moment. We're going to hop on board with Bobro. So that's going to put Shady in P3. Looking to make a move. Ennick's got the run on Duck. Got the DRS. Going to try to outbrake him going into this chicane. Oh, not quite. Duck's just going to squeeze him off. Oh, and Duck not able to lay the power down coming off the corner. Not able to get up to speed. It's going to lose a position to Innick and possibly also Bobro. As Bobro's going to look to the outside. They come through this chicane. Oh, man. And the crossover move. Bobro looking to the outside. Not able to get to the gas. Still looking. Going to fall back in line. Fantastic action here for positions 4 through 6. Don't look now, we've got Dave back here lurking. He's liking what he sees. Oh, and they're both, Duck and Bobro, both got to peel off here. Going to come down the pit lane. Bobro looked to be going a little fast, either that or Duck was a little cautious coming down pit lane. As they come on there side by side, both switching over to the medium tires, and through that exchange, Bobro's actually going to put himself in front of Duck. When they come out, they're going to be just outside the top 10 as you see them coming up the hill out of the tunnel to come back out on track. Going to sort them in P10 and P12. I think that was just a case of Duck wanted to make sure that he got on there safely. He's going to make a run on Team Green. Move him up to the 11th spot. Meanwhile, Sauce Boss, guy that we saw close to the front earlier, Kind of fell off a little bit, trying to make up some ground. Putting the pressure on Teme for the 8th position. He's going to have DRS, going to have quite the run. Going to look to the outside. Going to try to outbrake him. Not quite. Teme's going to hold on to the position for now as they come out of the chicane. Quite sure what happened to Barbro there. Saw him lose the position to Duck. Duck gonna apply the pressure to these two ahead of him. Saucepaws feeling it from behind and feel that he needs to make a move now, looking to the outside of Teme. Not gonna be able to make it work. Looks for the crossover and is actually gonna be coming down pit lane to get some service done to his car. Duck making the move around his teammate Teme. Move himself up to the 8th position. And up front. See Enek just behind Shady. Shady on those soft tires. Enek's got the DRS, gonna get a little bit of a run to close that gap coming down the straightaway into this double chicane. All he's going to be able to do is close the gap there. Get as close to him as he can to set up a pass elsewhere. Through, you can see all the rubber that's laid down. These cars going through there and also sliding. Something about this race being a run under the lights, just it's awesome. Something about night races. Right. Meanwhile, up front, Furby with a 5-second lead over Danny Rick. That lead was 7 seconds not too long ago. Just under 5 seconds now. And remember, Furby's got that penalty. I believe it's a 3-second penalty. So that about 4.5 second lead, we're really only looking at a 1.5 seconds. Really wheeling it right through that chicane. There's no grip. It's almost like driving on ice right now. Danny Rick really making headway on Furby here. Let's hop back here with Enek. Enek's closed the gap here to Shady. Shady maybe not liking this set of tires. Just staying very consistent on those mediums. He's going to have a run coming down the front straightaway into turn 1. Try to keep it as close as he can. Still just 3/10 of the car in front of him and Shady. Closing the gap. Don't think he's going to be able to make a move here or in the hairpin here, but he's going to try to set it up to where he can get a run coming down the straightaway. I think he lost a little bit too much time coming out of that. Wasn't able to keep that distance to Shady, so now he's going to have a little bit of a run, but all it's going to do is close him in. Not going to be able to have an opportunity for an overtake. To come through this chicane. Doesn't even get to the curbing. It's now that lead, that distance that Shady is looking more like 7/10 rather than the 3/10 from earlier. Dang, he carries a lot of speed going into that chicane. Made a lot of ground up on Shady. Comes out of it. Only 0.4 of a second separating the two. And these two are closing in on the lap traffic of Raptor. Meanwhile, behind them, you see Dave making up a lot of ground on both of these guys. I'm sure Dave's a guy right now that just like another crack at those top couple guys. Don't think he's going to have enough time to make up that ground, though. With only about 6.5 laps left. Danny Rick has gone ahead and closed that gap down to about 3.5 seconds. So with that 3-second penalty, really about a half a second back. As he's continuing to just chomp into that lead that Furby has. Just wheeling it. Oh, and back here we've got Dave making a move around Enoch to move himself into the 4th spot. Gonna set his eyes on Shady now. Meanwhile, back in the pack, Timmy appears to have run into some issues. Bring out the yellow flag in that sector as he keeps it going. We're still under green. Here you see Sauce Boss and Dubsy going at it. We got teammates running for this final points position. Meanwhile, Brembo, Adler, and Daddy all right here nose to tail. We're going to watch this action here for a little bit. As soon as I see Dave close and right on cue, Dave has got it within 0.4. Shady gets up off the corner. Dave's car appears to really like these soft tires. You look, he's going to make a move to the outside. Oh, contact between Dave and Shady. Oh man, that's not the first time we've seen Dave have trouble through that chicane, trying to go side by side with somebody. It's just a tough spot to try to make a pass. So Shady's going to maintain that 3rd position. I believe that did give him a time penalty there for the contact. Enoch going to move back into the 4th position. Dave back to 5th. Looks like Dave's going to have quite a bit of damage to that nose as he's going to bring it down pit road. He's going to place that wing. He's got 15 seconds back to the closest guy in duck. So I think he can afford to make this stop quick for the repairs and new tires. Going to put a new set of softs on there. Along with a new wing. Duck's going to overtake him at the 5th spot. But going to bring Dave out in 6th. See if he's able to close that gap. Only 4 laps left, really. Man, that's heartbreaking. It's tough to see. If you're old guys in that situation, you're trying to get it. If you're Dave, you've got the fastest car. Trying to get the most out of it that you can. If you're Shady, you're sitting 2nd in the points. Oh, and we do have a virtual safety car out. This might change things. See, Dub Z has DNF'd. Barbaro off track there. Not sure what happened. He appears to be missing his front wing. A lot of stuff going on right now. Very clean throughout the whole race. Virtual safety car is actually up. We're back underway as Danny Rick has now got the gap under 3 seconds. So with that penalty, this is actually going to put Danny Rick in first place. I'm sure at this point he's got to be aware of Furby's time penalty. So now he's just got to stay clean, but also make sure he keeps it under that 3 seconds. If you're Furby, you're just pushing. Get everything out of that car you can here with 4 laps left. To go back to that situation there with Shady and Dave. Shady's second in the points. He's got the points leader right there. He's got to do everything he can to try to keep the guy behind him. And I think they ran out of room there. It's tough to go side by side through that section. We'll see how the stewards feel about that one after the race. But Furby able to leg it back out just over 3 seconds. So it's going to put him back into the lead. Furby continuing on his quest to make it 3 in a row. Oh, having a little bit of trouble getting out of the hairpin there. Went to put the gas down and there just wasn't anything there. Rear tires just did not want to launch him up off the corner. And that's how you saw him lose a little bit of time there to Danny Rick. Danny Rick got it down to 2.5 seconds now. Fastest lap so far going to go to Dave. Dave is inside the top 10, so that would get him the bonus point. As he's still not quite enough time, I don't think, to close 6 seconds on that guy in front of him. Our focus right now, though, is going to be on this battle up front. Not a physical battle, obviously, because these guys are still 2.5 seconds back, but with that penalty, it just makes everything super interesting. The yellow flags come on in sectors 1 and 2. As that clears up, Snover awarded another penalty, 10-second time penalty for corner cut. I think that's going to all but seal it for him, as he was in 11th spot looking for a points paying position. I don't think that's going to happen now. Meanwhile, back here, Brembo has got the gap closed to Daddy. Still not quite close enough there, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to focus up front on these 2 leaders. The guys who have just been the class of the pack all day. Maintaining that gap, 2.5 seconds there to Furby. Danny Rick's just got to stay clean and just maintain this gap. Obviously, he wants to close up and he wants to make the pass, but doesn't want to do anything that's going to jeopardize his clean race so far. It's like that Ferrari of Snover still really struggling back there. He's come around the final corner to take the white flag. It's going to be Furby out front with that penalty, and Danny Rick just under 3 seconds left. Let's see what's going to happen. Innick on the pit lane on the final lap. Oh no. Must have had a tire issue, but that's going to cost him a spot. It's going to move Shady up to P3, up to a podium position. Wonder how far this is going to drop Innick back. Snover down there with his millionth time penalty. But up front, Danny Ricks actually closed the gap, got it to 2.3. We're coming up on the final chicane. Just gonna stay as smooth as he can. Clip the curbing, not too much though. They come around the double left-hand turns. We're coming up on the final 2 right-hand turns. Still 2.5 seconds. Furby's really got to push. And they're going to cross the start-finish line. And that's going to give the race win to Danny Rick by 0.3 of a second, virtue of the time penalty. Danny Rick going to bring it home, P1. Furby coming up just short of making it 3 in a row. He's going to finish second. Shady going to bring it home in third, the final podium position. Innick making that final stop there on the last lap. Going to come home in 4th. Duck crosses the line, going to be in 5th. And actually, after all these time penalties, it's going to be Dave that's going to take the 4th position. That's why it pays to stay clean. Keep those penalties away. So Dave, who was in 6th position, actually going to be able to finish in 4th due to his consistency on track. Man, what an action-packed race. Let's go ahead and get these guys in here to get these interviews going. Awesome.
That is everything for today's video. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. For more TTM content, check out the video in the top right. And to join the TTM community, take a look at the link in the description. Until next time, see you on track.